Except that you have, you've done your job in accordance with the mandate given to you. We don't believe that it's not within the power of the government to create an equity structure for the media owners in Kenya, either within the two existing licensees or in the creation of a third license. And, Mr. Obama said that he is not from a cattle-keeping culture. I am from a cattle-keeping culture. And as cattle keepers, it is very difficult to ignore the person who manufactures the food that feeds the cow. So I think, Bwana DG, as local media, we do not accept that government does not have a solution for us. So we await that solution. But meanwhile, we are ready for the changed landscape. And actually, I have a very difficult job as chairman of the Media Owners Association, because only yesterday we had a meeting, and the vast majority of the local media owners feel that perhaps the only way we can get government to negotiate is to withdraw all our signals. So I have been persuading them not to do that, believing that you will have a solution for us. Thank you, and have a good day.
Well, in as far as the consumers of the now digital TVs are concerned, we haven't gotten the latest statistics. But we know there have been challenges arising from the acquisition of set-top boxes. It is just now that we are beginning to see set-top boxes coming on the market, but at the same time we are still jittery that they have not been priced, at the level where so many Kenyans can afford them. And that is the reason why we are planning to have a kind of first rollout, so that we can understand the actual problems that the Kenyans will be facing as they go through the process of migration. We do expect that the problems we are going to experience in Nairobi, we would not replicate them in Mombasa or any other town. And in that way, we would be in a better position to have a smooth transition, rather than having a one-day kind of stop show without knowing exactly the volume of problems that are there. So I wouldn't really, as of this time, answer accurately your question in terms of the numbers that have acquired set-top boxes, unless now I try to find out from both the digital platform providers and the subscription service providers.
And what is the maximum price for set-top boxes?
We know that the chipsets for the DVB2 are still a bit expensive, because they have not been manufactured in volumes as the DVB-T. But from what we have surveyed and found out from the market, before it arrives here, it should be at least $30. So we would expect that a good pricing at the moment should not go beyond $50, which would be around 4,000 Kenya shillings. And more especially with the removal of the excise duty, we expect that it should be a lot cheaper. But we should not run away from the fact that since they are still coming, they are not in good volumes in this country, then you will know that the traders will want to price them a bit more expensively than what they actually should be. So we are looking into it and trying to see which best methods we are going to allow Kenyans who cannot even afford them at this level, or even at the level of 4,000 shillings, what they should be able to do in order to get access to television.
In terms of awareness,
yes,
it's coming out strongly that majority of Kenyans, especially in our country, are not aware of exactly what is going on. And when you talk about the top boxes, most of them even don't know where they're supposed to get them from. In terms of awareness, how far are you going?
Indeed, we wanted to say that in terms of awareness, we've just started with Nairobi. Ideally, we would have gone very far, but as one of the speakers said, we were unable to move in with the awareness campaign immediately, because the signal, the signal had not been rolled out to most of the parts of the country. So our next phase, which is going to cover our next financial plan, is to ensure that all the rest of the countries the rest of the parts of the country. At least in every county, we would be there trying to show people about the digital migration. We are also developing other strategies, including maybe using the local leaders to ensure that we enable people to be able to know about the digital migration and how it is going to affect them. So as of now, I should say we are still in Nairobi, but we are planning to roll out the rest of the country.
In terms of the deadline, the deadline that the government has set for itself, are you still going to meet it now that you missed the June?
Frankly speaking, I'm reluctant to commit myself to it because I have to be realistic on this. If anything, we are planning to cover 70% of the population of the country, because those are the 12 major towns that we had given the signal distributors to roll out to. And I think you may have seen from their presentation how far away they are. And sometimes you might not be accurate to the last point. So first of all, whether we shall secure 70% of the Kenyan population by December, this is what we are waiting for them to do. Secondly, covering 70% without having the set-top boxes to access it will still be a nightmare. And thirdly, what about the rest of the 30% who probably are also being covered by the analog TV and can be disadvantaged? You know, that can translate also into some kind of political, I should say politicians may want really to come in also and say, no, look here, you cannot just black out our people, and yet we want our people also to watch television. They have the right to it. Make sure that you cover everything before you switch off. So we are preparing for all those kind of eventualities. But for sure, the government said it, and we said that the US started talking about switching off in 1996, but it never switched off until 2009 or something, or was it 2010? So let us expect that we can also have those variables. But for sure, we are committed to ensuring that we want Kenya to go fully digital before 2015.
Well, yes. I can't remember, but sometime back we given a deadline to broadcasters to apply for the new licenses. And so far you said we have 96 or 100. So what's the effect of those who are remaining?
Well, at the moment we are under the court orders not to license until the case between us and the media owners is resolved. But we hope that once it is resolved, we are going to give them a new deadline. Those four or so who have not applied. I'm not afraid to say that, because the others who have applied, we have just volumes of the applications lining in our offices. We will give them a little bit of time to comply, and then we move them to the new platform so that they can also be able to enjoy the new, era of broadcasting that is coming into, into the country. You might be pretty aware that now there is a lot of convergence between traditional media and the new media, and we would also want to enjoy them. They will not enjoy them if they are not licensed, and they will not enjoy them if they are belligerent. They have to conform with what the laws are. In fact, for them to be good citizens, they must be law-abiding.
With regards to free-to-air versus pay-TV,
yes.
Somebody spoke about Iraq. Now, do I have to buy the DVB2 decoder if I have, say, Startime, so that I can see the free-to-air without having to pay for it?
In our specifications, right from the beginning, said the two platforms that are available. In terms of supporting the free-to-air channels, they must be seamless, so that when you get a free-to-air decoder or a set-top box for that matter, you should be able to see channels on Pan-Afric and Signet. And that one we have tested. In as far as the channels are concerned, those free-to-air set-top boxes that we have type approved, you can be able to see free-to-air channels on Signet and free-to-air channels on Pan-Afric. With regard to pay TV channels, it might be a little bit difficult, because what is happening is with this era of software, people are decoding these softwares, and you see now they end up rebroadcasting channels that they have paid no royalties, or they have taken from the the pay TV providers. So the pay TV providers are reluctant to use a smart card to be able to access their channels. Instead, they come with the encrypted software. But we wouldn't bother very much about that, because if you go for pay TV, you know what you are looking for. But for those who are on free-to-air, we want to make sure that they don't have to buy different set-top boxes in order to access free-to-air channels. One set-top box would be enough. Well, as you are already aware, there are more players coming in. We are not going to succumb to veiled threats like those, because if they switch off their signals, we are going to allow others who already, and the producers of these signals are yourselves. So if somebody wants to switch his media houses, we give another one a license to employ you. So for us, we are not really afraid of that. What we are interested in is, in case there are any issues they think they should deal with the regulator to make this broadcasting environment better for all of us, we are ready to accommodate their ideas, and we are going to continue more and more often interacting with them through a consultative forum like this to be able to see how best we can drive this sector forward. We want many of you who are now qualifying from journalism schools not to come and tarmac. We would also want you to make sure that you guys are creating the kind of local content that we want. In fact, even at CCK, we are preparing, once the what we call the Universal Service Fund Advisory Council is in place, we would want to use part of that fund to try and incubate those good artists to be able to come up eventually with good content that we would like to watch, that will promote our culture, that will promote our values, that will promote our virtues, that will entertain us, and all that we need from you. And I don't think those who are producing outside are better than you. So all of us need to come together and create that platform for you, so that tomorrow, at least you look back and say, yeah, at CCK they did this for this nation, and that is where I am. And that is surely what we are moving forward to as the Commission.
I have a question.
Yes.
I would like to know whether Signet, you can have...
Thank you very much. Those are very important questions. These guys are competitors. But even when they are competitors, we have not given them a free hand to put their transmitters where they want to put. We have given them rollout conditions. So, as you see, all of them, we gave them 12 sites. And those 12 sites we identified that will cover 70% of the audience that are able to access television now. And therefore, even if they compete, they are competing on the same platform and meeting the targets that the regulator has set. Now, in terms of how we would be able to ensure that Kenyans know that they are buying a type-approved set of boxes, all the vendors, and you see we are going in our campaigns, we are going also, our awareness campaigns, we are going to let Kenyans know. All the vendors should display the type approval certificate of the model of the set-top box they are selling. So we give each model that we type approve, we give the type approval certificate. That type approval certificate can be photocopied in all the vendor shops across the whole country. And therefore, when you go and you are buying a model, if it is model A, you should be able to ask, where is the type approval certificate of model A? And in that way, we would be able to minimize cases where the vendors would be selling set-top boxes that are counterfeit. Like now, the problem we are dealing with of mobile phones. So we want to ensure that that problem doesn't recur, as we have experienced it now, and that Kenyans will be buying those set-top boxes that type approved. We also, as far as vendors are concerned, we have conditioned them that when they sell the set-top boxes, they should also have what we call after-sale maintenance, so that they are able to maintain those set-top boxes whenever the consumers would require them to do so. So we have given them some tough conditions also as vendors, but we have agreed that is the way we have to move forward. But in as far as Kenyans are concerned, awareness campaign is on our part, and we shall try as much as possible to give them as much information as is necessary for them to be able to make good choices.
Are you ready for other license at the moment?
Really, this is something that I would politely say no. The latest World Radio Conference that took place this year in Geneva constricted the radio broadcasting spectrum by a half. That means we used to have channel 21 to channel 62 in UHF. They have removed channel 62 up to channel 49. So which means that the TV broadcasting spectrum is within channel 21 and channel 48. Now, at this point in time, it will be very difficult for us to think or contemplate of another license when we now need to reorganize what we call reform the frequency spectrum in order now to redistribute the much less spectrum that is available to us to broadcasters for TV. So if we did it now, let's say for example, maybe in Nyeri we had planned for channel 49, maybe channel 50 and so on and so forth. Now those channels are removed. It means Nyeri right now, for example, may not be having a spectrum for broadcasting TV. So that means we come in now to reorganize so that whatever was maybe in Nairobi, whatever was in another town, we redistribute it in such a way that now it covers the whole country. And we are only going to do that after analog switch off. Before analog switch off, it will be very difficult. So it will be at that time that we would think, we will try to see whether it is viable to have a third signal distributor. Imagine we only have 4 million TV households in the country. So supporting that kind of infrastructure, like what they are talking of, $160 million, is not just easy. So we will look at it at that particular time, and that is the time we'll make a decision. Do we need a third one? And is the spectrum available? If it is available, then we will give that spectrum in a normal way. We don't want things to do with affirmative action. We are afraid of going to jail ourselves. So we wanted to follow the due process of the law. So if that happened, whoever we shall give the license will have gone through a thorough process where nobody will come up to say these CCK guys did these things in an improper way, as we believe in doing things properly for the purposes of this country.